All right, morning bows and bow ties. So look, I don't have a ton of notes actually. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself together here. I'm in my kitchen. I keep saying I was going to put up a background, so like a green screen background. I just haven't done it. So, excuse me. You know my sinuses are sinusing. Sinusing. I think that's the correct way of saying it. So look, I woke up this morning, had a chance to scroll through TikTok. You know, I like to catch up on some of the sports stuff. Don't ask. Look, can I just have my likes? And I was scrolling through and I ran across this video and I was like, maybe it's just me. So let me go ahead. I'm going to play this video. I was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go.
This shit is about money. You've hired 3 law firms trying to fucking suck me dry. I'm approaching $1 million in legal fees.
Okay, so I just wanted to apologize in advance for the language. I just want to stop right here for a second. This isn't a long video. I'm like, why do people come to social media to air out their dirty laundry? Let me just say, I have all kinds of stuff going on in my family. I don't put it on social media. Let's continue.
And we had a prenup. You already tried to ask me to come back. You already tried to reconcile. I told you I was in a relationship. Everything about the way you left me was heartless.
I don't understand why he is continuously getting on social media and pandering to the public. You knew it for what it was. Let's continue.
Evil. You never considered me, your marriage, and let alone your innocent 1-year-old child. She had to celebrate her 2nd birthday apart. So if you had people in your ear at the time, they must be still in your ear.
So I want to make sure for those of you who are watching, let me be clear. We have to separate him having real feelings, because I do believe he's in his feelings about it, as he should, right? It's a divorce, it's a separation, it's a dissolution of the family, it's all those things. But there's a little bit of something else going on here, right? There's that. And then there's recognizing things for what it was. I don't understand why he would need to put this on social media. Let's continue and I'll give my final thoughts.
Because you still trying to get $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old. You make $160,000 a year on your own. This is all.
There's so much I want to say about that. And it's just kind of like, I don't even know where to begin. I'll say this. Number one, I don't think you should be airing out someone's salary for a variety of reasons. Okay? That's number one. If you want to air out your own, that's fine. Number one, you shouldn't be airing out someone's salary. Number two, if you make, and I'm just throwing out random numbers here, $1 million, I don't care if this person makes 160,000, 160 million. It doesn't matter. I find that when these men who look like me get out here and they get on this platform or these platforms and they talk about their money, their money, their money, and they get mad at people for coming after their money, but that's what they lead with. And at the end of the day, they talk about their money, their money, their money, and that seems to be their sole source of their self-esteem. You took my money. I'm like, number one, I'm not saying it's just money, but it's just money. But number two, if you are worth $1 million, why is she not going to allow for her child to live in the same lifestyle? But not only that, because like it's bigger than this. It could have been $1 and he would have still been out here whining and crying, because this is bigger than money. He's humiliated. And then what he's doing is he's further humiliating himself on social media.
Game. You're clout chasing, playing on single mothers.
No. He's doing this now. Now, what he's doing is he's doing a little bit of gaslighting here. I want you guys to pay attention. He's trying to change the narrative. He's the only one getting out here, really. I shouldn't say the only one, but he's the one that's getting out here. He's talking too much. I get so sick and tired of these men out here talking about how they want to be leaders. Is this how you lead? Is this leadership?
And their emotions, playing on women that are actually in abusive relationships and fucked up marriages that are toxic and dark.
But this is the thing. He's turning this into something else. See, he needs to focus on the dissolution of his marriage. He's going off onto these other tangents. And that's not to say that those things aren't true, but that's what happens when people want to conflate things. They want to get the smoke off themselves and turn the ire onto another issue. And that helps stokes that fire.
And dysfunctional. That's not what that was.
All right. Look, let me just say this. Let me go ahead and take that off. Let me just say this. You know, Mary J. Blige went through a divorce, had to pay alimony to another man. She didn't do a whole lot of getting out in the media, whining and crying. Halle Berry also was ordered to pay child support and some other things. Okay. Sherry Shepherd, didn't she have to pay child support for a baby that's not even biologically hers, but the guy wanted a baby and this isn't even her DNA? So he went and got the embryo or whatever it was. So you have a whole, but like, you have all these women who have had to deal with that. And what they don't do is get out there on social media and start whining and crying. But I find a lot of these men, now this is going to sound very colorist, but I'm doing it on purpose for a minute, and I want to make a distinction here. When you have dark skin, well, this isn't even colorist. This is an observation. When you have dark skinned men with strong features, right? They get a taste of I don't know whatever it is that they call themselves. There is this almost like trying to make whole. So you get people like a Tyrese, you get people like a Chad Ochocinco, you get people like a Shannon Sharp. I mean, the list goes on. You get people like that that'll come out there and they'll go seek something else, right? And I don't think it's wrong that you want to go seek something else. I think maybe your reasonings behind it means you need to get some therapy. But what happens is when you're in a vulnerable state, I see this over and over and over again. I see these men who they went through this trauma, right? Like everybody goes through trauma, but they got teased for being dark skinned or whatever like that. And so you got these guys who don't even recognize their own beauty, their own attraction because they're young, right? And not everybody always when you're young. And they take it out on women. And then they get older and they never knew how to love themselves properly. And then they seek the comfort in someone that may validate them superficially. And they never did the work on themselves, right? And so now it's almost like a rejection from the others too. How dare you do this? How dare you make this public? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? And I'm just kind of like, there has been no soul searching going on. And then they get out there and they make all these stupid comments. Tyrese is whining and crying again in the public. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, have you no pride? You cannot continue to do these things and then you want the public to try your significant other in the court of public opinion, right? You can't continue to do these things. So getting out here crying again because we're calling them preferences now, whatever. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm like, keep your private life private, right? This came across my stream. I didn't ask for it. I just wanted to catch some stuff up on the sports and see some of the funny commentary on Monday night and Sunday night sports. There's all kinds of memes and stuff going on. But you get someone like a Tyrese comes across my timeline, whining and crying. I'm going to play it one more time, make my final comments, and then that's not the one I want. I'm going to get off of here. This child.
This shit is about money.
Excuse the language.
You've hired 3 law firms trying to fucking suck me dry. I'm approaching $1 million in legal fees, and we had a prenup. You already tried to ask me to come back. You already tried to reconcile. I told you I was in a relationship. Everything about the way you left me was heartless. It was evil. You never considered me, your marriage.
Once again, I just want to say for the record, because I don't like getting caught up in this gender war stuff, but I will say, you cannot continue to do all this talking about how Black women have done all these things. And the same women that you ran the same women that you run into, what you're seeing is that women are women are women, men are men are men. And so these women found you to be a lick. They found you to be an opportunity. Look at how much you proclaim and boast about these women. It's not just you, it's the TOs and the Chads and the Shannons and all of these people who haven't done work on themselves. And you put this out publicly and you're embarrassing yourself, actually. You're blaming her for your choices. Now, the manosphere will say that you should have chose better. That's what they would say to women, right? Well, Tyrese, crying Tyrese. Now, how many times are we going to go down this road? Maybe you should have chosen better.
And let alone your innocent 1-year-old child. She had to celebrate her second birthday.
Your second birthday. Your second birthday. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, stop it. Stop it. What are you doing right now? You are embarrassing yourself. You can't sit there and think that this is going to work. Getting out here on social media, let me tell you the reason why. Even if what you say is 100% true, and I'm sure much of it probably is, you cannot get out there and publicly bash the mother of your child. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. At the end of the day, she's going to have that child. She's going to raise that child. And not only is she going to raise that child, you got to remember this woman is not Black. At least she doesn't present, typically. So this child is going to grow up in an environment that's not going to be necessarily rooted in what your culture is. Be nice to this woman. Well, you don't have to be nice. Just don't be evil. Getting out here publicly, saying all these things, running her down, makes you look moist, dude. Every time I turn around, you over here crying about something. I'm not saying you can't cry, but you don't need to go sit there and put this on social media. Let me tell you something. I have all kinds of things going on in my life. I just had a phone call last night on some shenanigans. But the one thing I'm not going to do is every time something goes on is get out here on social media and air it all out. I'm not going to do that. Let's finish this up.
Apart. So if you had people in your ear at the time, they must be still in your ear because you're still trying to get $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old.
And you're making this about that $20,000. Of course, she's going to shoot for the stars, but this is bigger than $20,000. There's so much I want to say, and I just don't really have the cycles for it, but oh, Tyrese.
Make $160,000 a year on your own. This is all a game. You're clout chasing.
I think that Tyrese is looking to gain additional clout. He put it on social media. I'm just saying.
On single mothers and their emotions. Playing on women that are actually in abusive relationships and fucked up marriages that are toxic and dark and dysfunctional. That's not what that was.
Okay, so enough about that. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Tyrese is doing too much. He needs to just Oh, he is his own crown of thorns. He is a walking disaster. All right, go ahead and leave a comment. Why isn't this ending?